think that, but I did. Yeah, look at this. Holy shit. But yeah, I'm not even sure. Oh my god. Look at this here. Oh my god. So are they just letting it get worse so that they can, you know, introduce like even farther martial law and like be even more aggressive and then have the public accept it? I mean, is that what's happening? I don't know.
Yeah, so, Homa, we're here on I Street, and there is a heavy police presence. You can see a bunch of police lights flashing down here on I Street. The whole road is blocked off as we're walking up. There is police that is directing cars to go in opposite directions as this road is closed off. We're working our way a little bit closer, so we don't really have any information on anything as of now, but as...
Yeah. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. America is formed from unleashing violence upon people who disagreed politically. Yeah, because you weren't able to vote. You see, you couldn't vote King George out of office. You can vote Trump out of office. You can vote for somebody different than Trump. You can't vote for George Washington to be your leader rather than King George. So it's just, again, suspect in custody. Wait, hold up.
Closer, of course, we'll bring you every bit of information that we can gather. But all we have right now is that these streets are just lined with every kind of cop car and every kind of, you know, presence that they can
like voting doesn't matter.
Going on as we do get closer to the metro station.
What do we know?
It obviously matters.
Julie, we see dozens and dozens of police officers there right now.
Probably young kids looking for a way to pay to college. They're guarding a roadway. Yeah.
Give us for perspective of folks who are just now joining in here at the top of the hour. How close are you to the White House?
Looks like we're probably about a block off of it here. We are just coming up to, we are just past.
Yeah, this is a thing where, like, I mean, preventing somebody from getting a gun and shooting two people is impossible. You can't do that. Like, realistically, as much as people want to say, oh, they need to put a stop to this, how are they letting this happen? The reality is that you can't stop this from happening. Oh, they got the suspect in custody.
Away from the White House.
Oh,
and if
shit.
you're just now joining us, we're understanding that 2 National Guard members have been shot in D.C. Their conditions unknown, but we are learning from the AP right now that they're reporting a suspect is in custody, and D.C. police saying the scene is secure and it is contained. As you're joining us now, Rich, walk us through kind of what you're seeing and what the next movements will be from this massive police presence.
Yeah.
Well, here you got multiple agencies working together.
The FBI is doing its job, like all their agencies. Trump deployed National Guards for weeks now. He's speaking nonsense. Crime's been drastically down. You didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah. Seriously injured.
You need to learn to listen.
When they report DC police as one
that's okay, though.
In custody,
you'll learn.
Listen, we've had these reports when things happen immediately, but that doesn't mean that there's only one individual. It means a person is detained, and they may or may not be the shooter. They seem to indicate that it is the shooter.
Well, yeah,
what I can see from the scene is the way they have so much law enforcement presence and so many bystanders with cameras and standing around. I do agree, number one, it's probably not an active scene anymore because they would not have bystanders. They would have been out of the area. Number two, they're already probably at intelligence centers looking at all the cameras for the area to see what they can find. There's body cameras from the police, the National Guard. I'm not sure if they're equipped with body cameras, but all the street cameras and stores have cameras. They are probably checking them immediately. Now, being, well, my family, actually, my grandparents were from Connecticut Avenue North. So this is a very hectic time. It's you know, we're talking about 3 o'clock on a Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. And like you said, it's inundated with the visitors to the area. So what will happen next is they'll archive and record all the data they have on the cameras. They'll try to see what they can piece together. They're probably, hopefully the guardsmen are well enough to be interviewed and they can give them some idea of what happened. Now, being in the proximity of the White House, the first thing is a red flag. Is they probably, if they hadn't locked down the White House, I mean, we understand the president and the first lady
not even there.
They probably certainly secured the perimeter.
So I was thinking about that video.
Much tighter than they had.
6'6". This should be more.
Be aware that
she says this should be more than attempted murder. I agree 100%.
May not be over.
I was thinking about
distraction. We don't know if the person was coming off the subway or going underground, or persons. Again, I say pause a little bit because the initial reports are not always accurate.
Anyway,
I think. I think that we're going to hear a lot of information coming out. But like I said, look right now as the bystanders are on the corners. Right. They got cameras. It doesn't. If it was live scene or active shooter, they would be running. They wouldn't be there. Right. So I'm sure the police.
Sure. So they probably got the guy. That's good. I'm glad. I mean, obviously, it's a huge fucking relief that they got somebody that went and did that shit, right? But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens if this is actually him or not. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, my assumption is that it probably was. But, I mean,
we'll
I'm just kind of surprised more than anything that something like this would happen. And to me, like, what I think is, I think this is probably another mentally ill retard. That's what I think that it is. It is another mentally ill retard that probably got hopped up on some weird, like, again, you could say that it's an ideology, but if you're going out a day before Thanksgiving and shooting random people in the head, I'm sorry, but, like, you're nuts. You're Looney Tunes. What do you mean? Like, yeah, it's crazy. They didn't call him MAGA yet? Well, I don't know if he's a Trump's... Here's the truth.
Okay.
The people that go out and they do these shootings are nuts.
Well,
they're not left. They're not right. They're nuts. They're nutballs. Like, these are people that think they're talking to demons. These are people that think that they know Donald Trump. Yeah, they're not in a party. Yeah, they're
Oh, come on, bro.
not in a party. Like, yeah, some of these people could have gotten, radicalized by rhetoric or something like that. But these people are very, very far beyond that as well. So, yeah, leftists are nuts in general. Well, the problem with left-wing violence is that social media has a tendency to tolerate it or think that it's okay, right? Like, for example, like after Charlie Kirk got killed and you had a bunch of people talking about, he deserved it, it's a good thing, right? So that's really what the problem is. The actual problem isn't that it happens. The problem is that there's a culture around it happening that glorifies it. And that's the real issue. The real issue isn't stuff like this happening. And I understand that obviously that might sound crass or, harsh to say, but I really believe that to be true. It's not necessarily the thing itself. It's the culture around the thing and how it's tolerated. That's ignoring all the real use of political violence who seem from the left, like hits against ICE. Yeah, they could be crazy, but they could just also be anarchists. Well, I think that you that's a huge difference, though, right? Like, somebody going and, like, slapping an ICE officer or even throwing a rock at an ICE officer, like, that is, like, multiple measures and, like, magnitudes of, like, severity different than trying to get the drop on somebody, getting a gun, shooting them in the head, and then killing somebody. Like, that's totally different. Now, even though you could kill somebody with a rock and, some of these people would want to shoot the ICE members, going and doing that is crazy. That's crazy behavior. Another mentally ill retard. How long do we get the fact that the left is overwhelmingly using extreme violence? Well, I think that the left does weaponize violence way more often than right-wing people do, at least nowadays. I mean, you want to look at it historically, you can...
Obviously, that's true. That is so obvious.
Go back and forth about it, but I think that nowadays, especially in the last 5 years, it's undeniable that, like, the vast majority of left-wing violence...
Actually, we're talking since 2016, 2017, BLM riots and all that shit. And so, really, in the last 8 to 9 years-ish, that's where the majority of the violence has come from, is the left, period.
Is left-wing people, right? And by the way, all of the studies and everything that show this stuff are totally biased, and their data collection is completely biased. They are not 100%. Actually trying to... They're adding in, like, prison violence and shit like that into right-wing violence, like, because neo-Nazis are just categorically right-wing, but the left-wing people there, or the people that are, like, the opposite of neo-Nazis are not categorically left-wing. No. It's very obvious that, like, again, like, look at Tesla burnings, look at the ICE riots, look at, the BLM riots. These were all left-wing crash outs, right? It was every single time. So yes, and they weaponize their emotions violently, kind of deep, but thoughts, yeah, they do. And I don't think that anybody should put up with it. I'll tell you that. And you're on a topic. If governments can arrest people for online hate speech, how do we prevent those laws from being used to punish criticism or unpopular opinions? I wasn't talking about hate speech. I never said hate speech. If you think that I said that, I don't know why you think that, but I didn't. And so, yeah, it's really just that simple. What I did say, though, actually, is that let me see here, taking a suspect into custody. Oh, here we go.
Andrew McCabe, a former FBI deputy director. Andy, we are just learning from our producer that the scene has been secured. This is 17th and I, 1 block from...
How much longer do you think the far right MAGA will put up with this before they start fighting back? Apparently they never will. Like, I don't know. Like, in my opinion, if it hasn't happened yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, in my opinion, I think that you need to just totally crush these people. Like, any of these people that are, like, advocating for violence online, any of these people that are going on the internet saying this stuff, going on TV shows that are, like, you know, playing footsie with it, etc. I think that, you know, again, they could absolutely crucify them for doing this, and they don't do that. And I think the fact that they don't do that is it enables more of it to happen. And I think that what's going to happen is that every single one of these things that happens makes it to where the multiplier effect to the counter response will be worse.
True.
So basically, if it was only one bad thing that happened, you probably wouldn't have a very big counter response. But it's kind of like, here's a really great example for this, is like Twitter. So if you look at Twitter, people, whenever they weren't able to, like, Twitter was less racist when it wasn't actually heavily moderated. Like, I'm talking in, like, 2012, 2013. There wasn't really a lot of moderation on Twitter. People could generally say and do what they wanted to do. It was actually less racist then than it is now. And by a mile, too. Like, infinitely less racist.
Yeah, but when it started to get heavily moderated, it literally sparked a backlash effect, a pendulum swing, where the most, you know, insane shit and then not so insane shit, like, they started blocking and calling people racist when they weren't. And so now, of course, after you know, free speech is being legally upheld on X, that's where the backlash has come from, is because there was, you know, any right-wing position, any support of Trump, spreading true, fact-based, literal facts about COVID-19, you were banned. You know, they banned and blocked and moderated and deleted so much free speech that, yeah, now we have this insane cesspool that we didn't have before.
But the reason why it's a lot more racist now is because people spent years, and they hate gay people, they hate trans people, is that they spent years telling people that you can't do this. And so whenever you tell people that you can't do this, and
that you can't have the discussion about it, period. Right? And the woke brigade, the SJWs and woke brigade, came out in force to force opinion that they agreed with. And that was the problem. That cultivated hatred.
Oppress them, and then you tell them, oh, you can't have this opinion, you can't say this thing, and then finally they're able to do it. They do it even more than if they were just allowed to do it in the first place.
Yeah, like I said, the pendulum
So I think that's really it. Do you think the left's response to January 6th and perceived incompetence from terrible economy circumstances in the country? Yeah, of course. Obviously, the economy is a big reason. Yeah, sure. COVID brought way too many normies online? Yeah. They do it out of spite? They do. And I think that doing things out of spite is incredibly underrated. It's crazy how effective doing things out of spite is. Because the reason why it's so effective, and this is why it's such a dangerous political tool, is because it doesn't have any sort of obligation to morality. There is no obligations to ethics or morality. It doesn't matter about whether, oh, are you right or are you wrong? It's not about that. It's about how can I take the most things away from you? And if you make policy based off of that, and you're doing things based off of that, that's not a good thing. It's crazy people want to be seen as heroes by those who glorify.
Good to see you. Yeah, we're covering. Yeah, definitely. You heard about the shooting, the National Guards that were shot, 2 of them.
Definitely.
Crazy.
And they think they can get the recognition that Luigi got. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
In the White House, there is a suspect currently in custody. Obviously, we have very limited details, just that several people were hurt. At least one member of the U.S. National Guard has been shot. Can you give us a sense of how an investigation like this begins, essentially? We have a suspect in custody, but now is when some of the real work begins.
Years ago? Yeah.
So some guys, some people, I'm not sure who. I'm trying to get that info now. Basically, 2 National Guard soldiers were shot. One of them in the head, I think.
TV networks like CNN, MSNBC that radicalize the lunatics.
We don't even know if they're still alive. They're fighting for their lives or something like that. It's crazy.
I think that news publications, like I think Fox does it too, like for right-wing people as well. But I do think that news, like basically a lot of media, plays a huge role in radicalizing people. You're right. Look at the photo of the suspect. I don't know if they have a photo of them. I'll see what. Are they black? Oh my God, are they black? Oh wow, it's a guy. It's a fat guy. And then he's got a beard, and so he must be a Muslim. Yes. It's a guy with darker skin, and he's got a beard. It must be a fucking Muslim. I knew it. I knew it. Just look at him.
Just look at him.
Why is he half naked? Great question. Amazing question. Why is he half naked?
Bro.
I don't know.
It's a sex crime. It's indecent exposure.
Yeah, is he wearing laundry?
Bro,
yeah.
what?
His name must be Muhammad, guys. Jesus Christ. I don't know whether that's true or not. And it's unfortunate he's in custody and not a hearse. Yeah, true. And very, very true. Hippocratic oath shouldn't apply to these people. I don't know about that. I think it's fine to treat them. It's okay. You get this guy.
Well, and the build up to all this is basically, it starts from sedition by the left wing, and I'll play the clip. So.
Back and healthy, and then his job is to turn big rocks into little rocks for the rest of his life. Problem solved. Seems good to me. It's either Muhammad or Jihad. What if his name is Muhammad Jihad? Oh my God. Can you imagine that? What if he's trans too? A trans guy named Muhammad Jihad. Man. Or Steve. The guy's name is Steve Williams. Yeah, family came over in the Mayflower. She's just got a bit darker skin and a beard. Yeah. Yeah, Jack Smith. Oh, man. And, yeah, I guess we're going to find out, right? And just a pilgrim. Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, they're not going to play it. They're not going to play it.
Imagine being a trans Hobbit Muslim. Oh, you're right. And I guess we'll find out. I mean, it's, you know, it's ongoing, right?
Law enforcement, Metro Transit Police, MPD, U.S. Park Police, and Secret Service all involved. And I'll tell you, on our way here to the White House to help assist in the coverage, we saw a large police and fire presence right down by Capital One Arena. We believe there's a Caps game tonight, and we thought perhaps it had to do with the shooting here, but it was an elderly couple that had lost control and smashed into a building along 7th Street, basically right across the street excuse me, I said 17th, 7th Street at I, right across basically from Capital One Arena, and there were National Guard troops standing there helping to provide perimeter security down at that.
Yeah, it seems like nobody really knows, right? And they're afraid of things. Yeah, they're aiming for Candace and Miss. I've been burned by our government too many times. I frankly don't believe the reason they're bombing these boats is drugs when the result they want is another regime change war. Well, I mean, why not both, right? I mean, if you think the guy's bringing over drugs and he's allowing...
It's so bad. It is so bad that it's pretty... I can't find it anywhere because that's how bad it is. This is nuts. I can't find it anywhere. Man... There we go.
Josh, I want to get your thoughts.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens like us.
Against American citizens, which they're not. That's not happening. It's complete bullshit.
You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No such thing, first of all, if the commander-in-chief gives any military order. Giving an order is not illegal. He can even order them to do an illegal act. Now, that happens all the time. President Obama did it when he ordered the CIA to spy on the Trump campaign. It's literally not illegal. There's no such thing as an illegal order. If the president ordered the military to attack New York City, it would not be illegal. Now, they wouldn't do it, and he would be impeached. Any president that did that would be impeached. But President Abraham Lincoln, you know, he ordered that. He ordered to invade the South. I mean, it was a civil war, so it's like, you know, that's what it was. But that's where, I mean, it's not illegal for the president to give orders, period. Second of all, no order to commit any illegal act has been given. First, so that's the most important part, is that they think that because, you know, for example, he gave the military the orders to patrol the Venezuelan boats that are trying to smuggle drugs, and if they don't listen to warnings to stop and be prepare to be boarded and searched, then they are blown up. They literally try to a submarine to get past our military, which, by the way, we blew up and found drugs. They are trying all this bullshit to get past the smuggled drugs in. This is why they are saying this. The military should ignore the orders from the president, from the commander-in-chief. It's the most insane thing I have ever heard in my life. And it's sedition. It is sedition. Sedition is let me pull it up for you. I mean, I've got all the receipts. It's proof. So here we go. And we'll blow this up. I had ChatGPT do a deep research dive into the law, and it's trained on U.S. codified laws. Activities affecting armed forces generally criminalizes knowingly advising, counseling, or urging any member of the U.S. military to disobey, desert, or refuse lawful orders. Now, they're saying to do that for illegal orders, but there's no such thing. They're literally lying. There's no such thing, and no such orders have been given. So in spirit here, by the spirit of the law, and they're saying you must refuse illegal orders, but lawful orders are the only ones that have been given. So, in the spirit of the law, they committed sedition. And it is a form of treason. It's insane.
Orders, but this.
So here's yeah, it is fucking wild. I mean, it is nuts. It is nuts. So here's Stephen A. Smith on his view on it.
And as it pertains to Senator Kelly,
that is treason, I think. I think so, too.
Let's make sure we point this out, too.
Senator Kelly is one of the ones in the video. He's like one of the first ones.
Because this is incredibly important. It really, really is. When you look at Senator Kelly and what he said. I asked somebody, one of my researchers, to look this up for me because I wanted to know exactly what this was. And what am I asking about, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you what I'm asking about. Because when he called for the military to essentially ignore orders, I started thinking back to that movie, A Few Good Men. I started thinking about Tom Cruise grilling him, looking at, because essentially it was a reminder that this isn't a normal court of law. This is the United States military. They live by a different code.
United States military lives by a different code. Here we go. He's going to explain that.
They live by a different code of ethics. It's called the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ. It's the federal law that governs the conduct of all U.S. military personnel, active duty reservists, and in some cases even retired service members. It functions at the military's legal system, as the military's legal system, separate from civilian law, with its own courts, crimes, procedures, and punishments. That's what it says here. What?
With its own courts, its own crimes, its own laws, and its own punishments, completely separate from civil court.
What does the Uniform Code for Military Justice actually do? It sets the rules for crimes and offenses, service member rights, court-martial procedures, non-judicial punishment, Article 15, by the way, and command authority. Why it exists? Because military service requires standards of discipline and readiness beyond civilian law. Essentially a consistent legal framework. If anybody knows that, it's Mark Kelly.
Yep.
Respectfully.
He was a former Navy pilot. This mother effer should have known better.
Senator, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Looking into the camera.
True.
And telling military men and women to ignore the commander-in-chief. How dare you?
How dare you?
And camera.
I love this.
And telling military men and women to ignore the commander-in-chief. How dare you?
Yes.
How dare you do that?
How dare you?
That's right. I'm calling out. I never served in the military. That's true. I have family members who did. Some of my best friends have. Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army. I haven't heard one of them, not one of them, say that was okay. How dare you do that?
Woo! Get him!
Is it treason? No. Is it punishable by death? It shouldn't be. So the answer is no. But you know better, Senator Kelly. You know better. How dare you do that?
True.
What are you supposed to do? You're a ranking senator. You could go to the Senate. You could go to the House. You can draw up paperwork. You could try to start articles of impeachment if you think there's something illegal. I mean, damn, it ain't like y'all haven't done it before.
Whoa, true. Get him, Stephen A.
You impeached the man twice. Where'd that get you? Got his behind back in the White House.
True.
Had you left him alone since 2020, maybe he wouldn't be back terrorizing the Democratic Party the way that he is. But you did it. You did it. And here you are again with this nonsense. How dare you do that? I'm not a military person, and I know better than that.
Yeah.
You don't tell military men and women to ignore an order from the commander-in-chief. You don't do that. Is it going to...
You don't do that. What are you doing?
...amount to what Trump tried to embellish and indicate? No. But that don't make you right. How dare you do that?
Get him.
He's the commander-in-chief for the United States military. Yep. Period.
Period.
You have no business doing that.
Oh, get him, Stephen A. Preach, baby.
None. And by the way, the biggest reason is because what was illegal. You didn't tell us what it was.
Yeah, exactly. What exactly is illegal? What are you implying here? What
laws?
What?
Why did I bring up A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Kiefer Sutherland in that sequence and Kevin Bacon? Why did I bring it up? Because the mere thought of you even implying that a military officer is engaging in some type of salacious or illegal activity is trouble.
Woo! Thank you, Stephen A. True, brother. Woo!
The military, not the court of laws for civilians. The military. Senator Mark Kelly knows that. Trump is giving illegal orders. What are the illegal orders? How come you didn't tell us?
Exactly.
Where's the evidence?
Where's
the evidence?
Where?
Why do you think the investigation is going on? Why do you think Trump is all over Pete Hegseth, over the Department of War and the FBI with Kash Patel, and folks are looking into and probing what's going on and how can they get to Mark Kelly because they know he did something wrong. You crossed the damn line. You are an elected official in the nation's capital. We have a constitution. You got a problem, you go through the necessary process. Whether it's Hakeem Jeffries in the House, whether it's Schumer in the Senate, or anybody else. That's the process you're supposed to go to. You don't go in front of the cameras and give military officer or military personnel a directive to ignore their commander-in-chief. And you've given no evidence what his illegal orders were. And if you try to sit up there and say, oh, it was just alluding to a future reference to future situations, oh, so he's going to give you an illegal order in the future.
Okay, where's your evidence?
Ladies and gentlemen, that flies.
That flies on media, social media.
Over the airwaves of Sirius XM.
Right.
Or one of these news networks.
You want to try to speculate on, like, you have freedom of speech, so you can speculate on that bullshit. Even mainstream media does it all the time. They lie all the time.
Or something like that. It does not apply in our military.
There it is. Yes, sir. That's right. It does not apply in this city. Like, you are a sitting citizen and retired Navy pilot. You know better. You know better than to demand our military to ignore the commander-in-chief. Woo!
You can't do that.
Brother, look at him. He's so beside himself. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Something like that. It does not apply in our military. You can't do that.
Brother, his face, bro. Yes, true. Oh, thank you, Stephen A. Thank you, Stephen A. You're wonderful. Amazing. Oh, wow. Woo! You gotta love it. You gotta love it. It's crazy. It's crazy. So this led to people that, I guess, I mean, I don't even know. Let's get the full story again. I'm kind of.
Yeah, look at this.
I think I might have missed
Holy
something.
shit. But yeah, I'm not even sure. Oh my God. Is that what's happening? I don't know.
Locked off.
Here we go.
You can see a bunch of police lights flashing down here on I Street. The whole road is blocked off as
we're walking
up. There is police that is directing cars to go in opposite directions as this road is closed off. We're working our way a little bit closer, so we don't really have any information on anything as of now. But
I guess we're going to have to wait and see. America is formed from unleashing violence upon people who disagree. People want to say, oh, they need to put a stop to this. How are they let custody?
Away from the White House.
Oh,
shit. If you're just now joining us, we're understanding that 2 National Guard members have been shot in D.C. Their conditions unknown, but we are learning from the AP right now that they're reporting a suspect is in custody, and D.C. police saying the scene is secure and it is contained. As you're joining us now, Rich, walk us through kind of what you're seeing and what the next movements will be from this massive police presence.
Yeah.
Well, here you got multiple agencies working together.
The FBI is doing its job, like all the Trump deployed National Guards. He's not speaking nonsense. Crime's been drastically down. You didn't listen to what I said.
Not seriously injured.
You need to learn to listen.
When they report DC police as one
that's okay though.
In custody,
you'll learn.
Listen, we've had these reports when things happen immediately, but that doesn't mean that there's only one individual. It means a person is detained, and they may or may not be the shooter. They seem to indicate that it is the shooter.
Well, yeah,
what I can see from the scene is the way they have so much law enforcement presence and so many bystanders with cameras and standing around. I do agree, number one, it's probably not an active scene anymore because they would not have bystanders. They would have been out of the area. Number two, they're already probably at intelligence centers looking at all the cameras for the area to see what they can find. There's body cameras from the police, the National Guard. I'm not sure if they're equipped with body cameras, but all the street cameras and stores have cameras.
Yeah, they should be.
They are probably checking them immediately. Now, being, my family, actually, my grandparents were from Connecticut Avenue North, so...
Like, that's totally different. Now, even though you could kill somebody with a rock and, you know, some of these people would want to shoot the ICE members, going and doing that is crazy. That's crazy behavior. Another
details just that several people are currently in custody.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
In the White House, there is a suspect currently in custody. Obviously, we have very limited details, just that several people were hurt. At least one member of the U.S. National Guard has been shot. Can you give us a sense of how an investigation like this begins, essentially? We have a suspect in custody, but now is when some of the real work begins.
When you read that years ago? Yeah, I know.
So, especially if we go back...
There's TV networks like CNN, MSNBC that radicalize the lunatics. I think that news publications, like I think Fox does it too for right-wing people as well, but I do think that news, like basically a lot of media plays a huge role in radicalizing people. You're right. Look at the photo of the suspect. I don't know if they have a photo of them.
This is where we saw this. You mean Stephen A? Oh, Lady Zark said he's genuine. Oh yeah, Stephen A. Smith was genuinely baffled. True. But I do wonder what exactly happened. Yeah, here with the shooters. Let's go to... Let's see if you got any more updates on the whole thing. I mean, that was 19 hours ago. Let's do... who should we look up? Lady Zarkia? Let's do... Go here. Go here. Let's try this.
Sure. So no, at this time, there was no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction, and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate the need for the National Guard here in D.C.?
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Mayor, can you tell us about more details on the condition of the two National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured? And a quick question follow-up for the FBI director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure, so I can start out. Again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition at a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
So it appears to be a lone gunman that shot two National Guardsmen there in critical condition.
CBS is currently reporting the identity of the shooter suspected of attacking two National Guardsmen in the nation's capital just a few hours ago. Now, they are reporting that his name, and he is a 29-year-old Afghan national, like many have speculated, who entered the U.S. in 2021. Now, his name is Ramullah Lakinwa, and I'm sure I butchered that, but we will get some proper pronunciation here soon. And we also know at this point that the two victims are in critical condition and are members of the West Virginia National Guard. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance earlier today, he called...
I mean, what do you expect?
...for prayers while addressing service members in Kentucky after he had heard of...
And they say that our enemies are the Jews! It's the Jews! Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit!
...this said attack.
Yeah. I don't think so, brother. I think we know exactly who our enemies are. I think we know exactly who our fucking enemies are. Nothing else. Nothing else. Man. Okay. I'd be all right with CBS News, and here's why. The editor-in-chief is Barry Weiss now.
FBI to review his immigration history and the vetting process itself. What we know about him is that he drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended target of coming to our nation's capital. As we stand here today, the charges that are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, a violation of D.C. Code 22-401 and D.C. Code 22-4502. He will also be charged with possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. He faces 15 years under the assault with the intent to kill. We intend to continue monitoring what the charges will be, depending upon the well-being of the guardsmen. We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree. But make no mistake, if they do not, that will certainly be the charge, murder in the first degree. The Department of Justice, under Attorney General Pam Bondi, is committed to a thorough and an impartial investigation where we will hold this perpetrator accountable under the full weight of the law. Now, Sarah and Andrew volunteered. They came here to protect the people of the district, pursuant to a crime emergency that President Trump rightly declared in this city and in other cities across the country. Our nation's capital should not and must not be a place where evil comes to commit violence, whatever their cause or motive may be. We should not have to live in fear in the nation's capital.
Yeah.
The district are the line that separates a civilized society.
My remarks the same way.
Here we go.
City's capital.
Prayer for our law enforcement community, prayer for our National Guardsmen and women, prayer for our brave
So wait, I missed it. I was looking up Barry Weiss. Did they say whether or not they're
prosecutors
dead?
at the Department of Justice and the offices of the D.C. United States Attorney. We must come together as a nation, especially on this Thanksgiving Day, and remember the sacrifices that so many are making around the world and around this country to secure our freedoms under President Trump's brilliant leadership and administration. I'll provide an update on the case as follows. It is an ongoing investigation of terrorism. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me whether he came
the FBI is leading
ongoing investigation of terrorism.
Out on these federal assault on a federal law enforcement officer investigation on many fronts. We immediately, with our law enforcement partners in the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, secured the scene, seized the weapon, sent in our evidence response team immediately to collect evidence, and started doing block-by-block canvasses. We are looking for and interviewing witnesses. The firearm and other materials have been sent to our Quantico laboratory already yesterday for immediate analysis. That work is ongoing. Partnering with the D.C. United States Attorney's Office, we have also executed multiple search warrants around the country.
I mean, he was willing to murder 2 National Guards, 2 actual military soldiers. If he was willing to murder somebody else, it's the fact that he knew and targeted them as soldiers. It's highly likely, it's almost a guarantee that it was terrorism, Elridge 66. I mean, obviously. And Lady Zarkia, you said they were in critical condition and fighting for their life.
To include the subject's last known residence, which is in the state of Washington. The search warrant was executed on that house last night or early this morning, and it is an ongoing process. All the individuals found in the house have been interviewed, and some interviews remain ongoing. We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life. There's also subject interviews relations conducted in San Diego pursuant to our ongoing investigation. So, as the judge noted, this is a coast-to-coast investigation being led right here in Washington, D.C., and this subject definitely did pick the wrong country. And we will rise together as a nation to show the world what we do here. And we are thankful that we have the Attorney General's brave leadership and President Trump's brave leadership and priorities to safeguard our communities. I also spoke to Director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, last night, and Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States of America. That is what a broad-based international terrorism investigation looks like. We will provide continuous details to the American public while at the same time not jeopardizing the ongoing prosecution to ultimately hold this perpetrator accountable in our courts of law. We will provide as much transparency as possible, but as you can see, the breadth and scope of this investigation will continue. We will continue to hit the streets and hit every town and every house and talk to every witness. The men and women of the FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, to include the Department of Homeland Security, DEA, and ATF, are working tirelessly on this Thanksgiving Day. And I know just by talking to the leaders behind me that instead of going on and being with their families, everyone rogered up and showed up to work today. And none of them want to go home. That's the resolve that we have together as a team to bring to you justice for this heinous act of terrorism here in our nation's capital. And as the judge said, we will ensure that our law enforcement partners are out there in full force to make sure the world can enjoy our nation's capital.
Well, not terrorism yet, but ongoing investigation as to whether if it was or not.
We will not let this.
They're gonna slam him for that, saying that it's terror. I mean, he just slipped up, but
this act of violence prevent people from visiting our beautiful nation's capital.
He did that before, you know. He slipped up before with the Charlie Kirk thing. We all saw it. We've got the guy in custody, and you know he spoke too soon. We did have a person of interest in custody, but he called him a suspect, and that's different than a person of interest, apparently, you know, and so. He misspoke on Twitter or X, and so, yeah, he should really just, yeah.
And we will also continue to highlight any evidence that we can publicly. And as the judge said, this individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone, because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others. And this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country, and we're thankful for that. And as I said, this investigation remains ongoing, and I think I'll turn it over to General Blanchard of the National Guard now. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. I wonder how Trump is going to react. Oh, he's actually Afghan. No, yeah, he is.
All across America this morning, families are waking up. They'll spend the day with their children, their brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, friends from across the community. There will be the smell of turkey.
So we don't know anything yet. 4 hours ago it was an update. They're still alive. I hope it remains that way. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yep, there's that. This is the new editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss. She's the one that runs the Free Press podcast on YouTube. She was fired from the New York Post because she kind of has led the anti-woke brigade, but she's traditionally a leftist, a Democrat, but just, you know, vehemently opposing, essentially, the woke brigade bullshit. All right. Yo, this ought to be good. Man, hang on.
Hey, you're making
me. Let's go here and go to here. There's one more thing I think that should be on here. Yep, there it is.
Whatever happened to...
Whoa. Calm down.
Britain or the UK or England? Just want to say this out loud. With him last year, ran into him in an elevator in the Middle East and decided...
This is an interview with Piers Morgan, and you guys have got to see this. It's crazy.
To sit down and had a really spirited and interesting conversation with him in which I attacked his country with the fury of someone who secretly loves the country and hates what it's become. And so we're back here in his hometown and decided to have this conversation, and it follows in just a second. But before it begins, just want to be super clear about something. Piers Morgan is clearly wedded, has decided to remain wedded to the neoliberal version of the world where you're not allowed to say certain things and you have to repeat certain pieties, and it's all pretty embarrassing, obviously. But in fairness, Piers Morgan has single-handedly done more for free speech, which is disappearing in Great Britain, than any other Briton. He has done more for free speech than any other person in this entire country. Just want to say this out loud because it's absolutely true, and he's done it the old-fashioned way by allowing other people onto his platform, onto his show, to debate. People who have no other venue to say what they think.
True.
And you may disagree with 50%, agree with the other 50%. It doesn't even matter. That debate, the real debate about issues that really matter, that nobody else in this country is allowed to talk about, are taking place at scale on Piers Morgan's show. So if you watch this and you think Piers Morgan has no idea what side is up, why is he defending the indefensible? Keep in mind that here, and this is an authoritarian country where disagreement is no longer allowed, you go to jail for it. By the thousands, people go to jail for it every year. He alone is keeping it open. So God bless Piers Morgan. With that, here's Piers Morgan. Piers, thanks for doing this.
Welcome.
For taking time.
Welcome to my city.
Which I've been so mean to, including in a conversation with you last winter in the Middle East. I'm attacking Great Britain. And I just want to apologize and tell you the truth about how I feel, which is I think that English culture and civilization is the highest level ever achieved by man in history. I really believe that. Everything about it. It's religion, it's language, it's literature. American society has never produced literature, I'm embarrassed to say, like what the Brits produced. And so it was out of sadness and frustration and a sense of connection to your civilization that I went on the rant about how much I hate it. But it was hate born of frustrated love and concern.
I'm just amazed you're here alive. I didn't think you get it.
Well, they're so passive now, and everyone's like bisexual. What are they going to do to me? Nothing. But I just want to add, and I know you love it. You're a product of it. What is it? How would you describe English culture?
They are cowed. They are cowed. UK citizens are cowed into submission. And he's like, everyone's so passive here. I think the Tommy Robinson gathering where Elon Musk spoke proves that there's plenty of people that are not. But I don't think it's enough to get change in the government. We'll see.
I would say it's not as bad as many Americans think it is. And it's not as good as many people here when they launch impassioned defenses of our country and our culture and the way things have gone would like to pretend it is. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. There's definitely been a significant change in the fabric of the country.
It's bad.
In the makeup of the country, in the types of people who've come here, the volume of people who've come here. That's obviously had an effect on what this country is. Now, the debate to be had is whether this has been in totality a force for good or bad. And I took your...
Wait, okay, hang on. We got some breaking news. Kind of put that on the side.
Trump just terminated deportation protections, and this could affect a lot of people.
President Donald Trump says he is taking action to end legal immigration status for some Somalis in Minnesota, effective immediately. A post on Truth Social says Minnesota, under Governor Walz, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity.
We know what our president has done. It is an attack on our community.
No, it's literally not. You broke the law coming in here illegally, and you got asylum from an administration that made you sort of legal technically by seeking asylum, even though you crossed the border illegally. Like, the problem was the last administration, we have illegal migrants that have crossed the border illegally and have gained legal status as asylum seekers. And so therefore they're no longer, essentially, that is supposed to clear them of the illegal immigration crime. But it's bullshit. That should not have been done. That isn't the way, that isn't supposed to be the way that we grant asylum. You're supposed to do that legally by crossing legally, and you shouldn't get asylum if you cross the border illegally, and that's what the last administration did. So now we have all these technically legal by the Biden administration immigrants that cross the border illegally that should never have been granted asylum in the first place, and they're committing tons and tons of crime.
A massive fraud scheme uncovered in Minnesota found money intended for social services
Are you kidding
has been
me?
allegedly siphoned indirectly into the pockets of the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab.
This is wild.
Somali immigrants in Minnesota have reportedly been abusing systems meant to help the most unfortunate among us, including the latest federally funded autism services. The autism fraud scheme reportedly amassed $14 million through Medicare claims for services.
In other words, they're cutting out, they're draining money, support money, that is meant for legal legal, unable to pay citizens, okay, and you get shot, you go to the hospital, the government covers it, because the law says the hospitals have to treat people. That's the law. The hospitals cannot turn you away, and then basically you're billed for it later, or there's a way that you can make up for it. But it's all supposed to go to this same fund helps autism, Down syndrome people, all these, like, it goes towards that. So we're stealing money away from that fund to help illegal migrants
that were never provided, involving kids who never had autism. And the Somali immigrants behind this web of schemes have allegedly stolen.
And the Somalis have stolen money from this fund.
Billions from taxpayers, much of the money going back to the Somali government, where it would then end up in the hands of terrorists.
Trump took to social media Friday night, claiming that Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state.
99.99% of the Somali community are hardworking. Okay. They're good neighbors. We're trying our best.
Somali community.
I'm sure he's right, but it sounds like we got some real crime here.
From the country's current affordability crisis.
Investigators say once that cash arrived in Somalia, Al-Shabaab took a cut.
Oh.
Whether the sender intended that.
Magical Misa, so good to see you. You said Johnny's Somali gangs. Yo, true, bro. What if it actually is? Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Or not. Minnesota is home to one of the country's largest Somali communities. Former state fraud investigator Keish Magan, himself a Somali American, wrote last year that it's uncomfortable and true that nearly all defendants in these major fraud cases come from that community. The U.S. Attorney's Office has charged dozens of defendants across multiple schemes, including housing aid fraud, child nutrition fraud, and false billing for autism therapy.
So it wasn't just medical.
Total, prosecutors say these schemes have cost Minnesota taxpayers billions of dollars.
Oh my God. Give me our money back! Give us our money back! That's bullshit!
Use those resources that are not getting those resources.
Right, housing.
It's past criminal.
Critics claim Minnesota leaders have tiptoed around the issue, fearing a backlash.
Biden was Pandora's box. I know. Like, what the hell do they expect us to do to fix this problem? They're mad at Trump for trying to, look, we have to reverse the damage done. How else do you expect us to do that?
From the state's powerful Somali American voting bloc.
Stop it right there. Pat, so you mean that's what it sounds like? Sounds like people want to stay in power at all costs.
And if you notice, Pat, Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar kind of quiet last week.
And think about it. The Democrats do all this. They try to fast track citizenship, which a lot of that has been successfully done for a lot of these illegal migrants. And, I mean, it's such a massive problem. And then once they have citizenship, they can vote. Now, it's the Democrats who gave them all those handouts, that free money, all the free bullshit. And yet, they don't think, they deny that they tried to have a voter scheme. First of all, if they can vote, they're going to vote Democrat. Even if they can't vote still, they can't register yet because they don't have full citizenship. What it does do is it ups the population of those zones, okay? It ups the population, which in LA, in California, their points, okay, in the electoral colleges went up by 1 point. That's a huge, huge deal because that's how many people were illegally imported into California, which means that obviously we're going to lose California to the Dems as it voted, and it's going to count for more points because of population, even if a large number of that population can't legally vote.
Yeah, it's their turf.
We talked about all the fraud. It's allegedly been carried out by members of the Somali community, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen. This is the story we did last week. Sent back to Somalia.
They sent it out of the country.
Ended up in the hands of Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization.
This happen?
That's why they're all crickets, okay? One source even said bigger. He said that the biggest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer.
You gotta be kidding me.
Just this week, the 77th person in Minnesota was arrested in a $250 million fraud case against most of them are Somali.
So they're arresting
immigrants.
people.
Trump, like you said, is ending the deportation status.
The immigrants that have come over here to Canada are allowed to vote, and I'm telling you that's the only reason we have a liberal government ATM. You know, I have watched one of the video makers. Let's see if I can find her. You live in Canada, right, Lady Zarkia? Where at? Tell like what the, I guess it's called a province, right? Let's see, what's the girl's name? Let's keep going.
What is the evidence?
Yeah, what is the evidence?
All of this money that was taken and the billions upon billions of increased funding in Minnesota for social services ended up in Somalia.
Well, billions of dollars of government welfare money is missing in the state of Minnesota.
How do we define missing?
Well, the fraud is so bad that the U.S. Attorney's Office has come out and indicated that they believe their entire government programs, where the fraudulent claims outstrip the legitimate ones.
Wow, so the
there
claims are
are
fake.
cases where indictments have come down.
Oh, they're
or
indicting people.
Guilty pleas are already in to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars that were fraudulently obtained, filing false claims.
Fake paperwork.
Alongside doctored paperwork. And the indictments are continuing to come. And the U.S. Attorney's Office has made very clear that this is a network of fraud schemes stacked upon fraud schemes, and that while the true dollar figure in terms of stolen funds at this point isn't quite clear, it's safe to say that we're talking about billions of dollars.
Okay. Billions of dollars. And look at this.
10 years in prison.
10 years.
For defeating our future fraudsters convicted in the first trial for the pandemic meal fraud scam. Abdi Majid Noor and his co-defendants stole $47 million in their part of the $300 million scheme. They claim to serve 18 million meals at phony sites like the small Empire Cuisine Market in Shakopee.
That's insane.
Noor's job
was
creating the fake meal counts and invoices, plus the rosters filled with made-up names of kids. He used fraud money for a trip to the Maldives.
What?
To get a college
New Brunswick?
degree.
Okay.
This guy just got 10 years in prison. This is a small group of people, apparently, who were able to exploit a broken government system in a massive way, and nobody tried to catch them.
Minnesota is just riddled with fraud, and that a lot of this money goes back to Somalia, and a cut of all that money has gone to the Al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab. But I want to reset this for viewers because it's complicated. This all stems from Feeding Our Future. That's the largest COVID fraud ever. These criminals opened more than 200 federal child nutrition program sites throughout Minnesota, and sites lied, claimed to be serving meals to thousands of children a day. They created fake attendance rosters, fake invoices, and the government reimbursed them. David Gaither, he's a former state senator here. He saw
the
this
whole thing was
firsthand.
fake. They weren't even feeding people.
Rich, this is the Safari restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. This is the epicenter of some of the biggest fraud and waste abuse in this area. The owner now is currently in jail, federal jail.
Really?
This restaurant, which seats about 35, supposedly served 18,000 plus meals a day.
A day?
A day for 7 months.
It said it served 18,000 people.
18,000 plus.
That's ridiculous. That's not even possible.
I don't get it.
Okay, sorry I was muted. This is the Lady Zarkia. This is the girl from Canada. She lives in Alberta. She's been making a ton of videos lately about a lot of different things. I absolutely adore her. She is really good at what she does, and she's made, this is the video that she did make. Hang on, let me find it again. There we go. And then go back here and go back here.
I don't get it. I'm seriously confused. I really think my girl crush is no more. Kaput. Finished. No, it wasn't a girl crush. It was just like, thumbs up, girl. Yeah, let's be friends. I wish. I agree with you. As a conservative Roman Catholic mama, I'm rooting you on. But now I'm just left to think, what? Huh? I don't get it. She even named it, "These people are sick." Yes, I've watched it.
Yeah, she's talking, I don't think she understands here. She's a big conservative, and she's clearly missing something. I haven't seen this particular video, but now I'm shocked and I'm curious because I don't think, I mean, Shoe on Head's video condemning the left for being sick.
But I've been asked to react to it, and yes, I have mom brain, so I can't really recall anything except the fact that she mentions in the end, after all of this, she officially claims that she's left. Because wasn't she like center left? And isn't Republican the new left? Like, left is actually like lunatic radicals, and then you can be far right. Like, I think because everyone from the left that was normal moved to the right, i.e. Joe Rogan, to Joe Rogan, who does not. I've seen something about him believing that there may be a God, but point, because my cat, like now, more quiet than usual. I did a little sound
live in front of a bunch of college kids, in front of his wife and his 2 children. And I don't think the country is ever going to be the same. Not only because of this horrific tragedy, but because of everything that followed. The dark, disturbing realization that we may not be on the same page.
She's so serious. Like, this is not her usual self. And you can see in her eyes that she's been crying, like all of us. And, like, I really thought she came on here to... Sorry, I just heard a dog barking. Distraction much. But, yeah. And I really thought she was going to come on here and be like, I'm moving over to the right. Like, I was center, but I'm moving to the right. 'Cause...
So she's shocked that she's not fully moving over to the right after Charlie Kirk's death. Anyway, I mean, I'm not shocked. Shoe on Head is a Bernie bro, she says. She's more like social safety nets. She doesn't want the death of capitalism or anything, but she wants more regulation. She's a traditional Democrat. She's anti-woke, that's for sure. Look, my position is, I would say to Sam, this is who I'm talking about, Sam right here in the lower left, is that I'll take Shoe on Head Democrats any day over the insane Democrats. Gavin Newsom, AOC, you know, she's economically Democrat. That she has all the same economic positions as any Democrat usually does. Okay? That's Shoe on Head. She's not going to change in her economic beliefs. and I don't think she should have to. I think that her attacking and going after the left the way she does and being anti-woke, being anti all the people that celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, she calls them disgusting bug people. Like, bro. Yeah. Right here.
Young kids will not move these people at all because young kids
and some people
these people at all because they hate their lives, they hate their families.
She definitely
they are
does.
atomized bug people. They are the unfortunate product of modern society, and I feel bad for them. I do. I pity them and I wish I could help them. But I have bugman fatigue. And for the people who will come at me in a blind rage with a list of all of Charlie Kirk's, like, biggest hits to convince me that I should hate him.
That's wild.
And should not mourn him. If you thought what Charlie Kirk said is wrong, you could have debated him. He was one of the few people left willing to do that, and now he's gone. Charlie was a fan of free speech, but I'm worried whoever comes after Charlie won't be. Like, even...
Exactly. So I think she supports the message in general, but I think maybe she's just shocked. But anyway, she lives in Alberta, and you say, Lady Zarkia says, she's lucky she's in Alberta. They are fighting to become an independent province and not be part of Canada. Yeah, a large number of them.
Possible. The government has no ability to account for its own activity. That's what
I mean, so in the context of immigration, look, I think that's the core principle here. I mean, if every person in Alberta, Lady Zarkia, if every person, including officials, wanted to join the United States, the problem I wonder is how that would even, like, happen, right?
Here, we got a broken system that many people have been calling out for years, and it was totally just plundered by people who knew how to take advantage of it. I mean, you got a restaurant feeding 18,000 people a day, and the place is only this big. Like, you can't even make this stuff up.
Minnesota Rep. Ilan Omar, she was a fixture at this restaurant, the Safari, during her run for office. I think we have a photo of her at the restaurant with her supporters in 2018.
Wow.
Feeding Our Future, that's that corrupt nonprofit. It was the epicenter of it, but
I
others
wonder if they
sponsored
donated
it.
to her.
There were home relocation services, child autism. They were bilking $399 million in services fraud in 2023 alone. To date, 86 people have been indicted and counting.
It's pretty wild, some of the things that you lay out, including
it is wild.
One group called Feeding the Future that
Feeding
went from
the
getting
Future.
$3.4 million in 2019 to $200 million.
Elrich says Alberta should just join the U.S. Join us. Yeah, true. But that would hurt Canada's economy pretty bad, all the oil and resources. Yeah, they have a lot of production, resource extraction, natural gas, lumber. Alberta has a lot of economic resources to be extracted. However, the problem is that's exploited by Canada's socialistic policy.
2 years later,
$200
they
million
grew faster than Nvidia. How did nobody see that, or is it
they didn't want to see it?
And the government and those who are supposed to be the watchdogs, like Tim Walz, like Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, they just weren't looking.
These groups are probably donating to politicians.
It's safe to say that there was a real unwillingness or inability among Democratic state officials in Minnesota to recognize some pretty obvious alarm bells here. All across these programs, claims were skyrocketing, absolutely spiraling out of control over a short period of time.
That's crazy.
And the reality is that the smaller community, which is where these large-scale fraud rings have been concentrated within this population in the state, it is a sizable voting bloc. It is a voting bloc you have to win if you're going to win political office in Minneapolis. And
there it is. And these politicians don't want to anger folks who they need votes from to stay in power.
So I think that was likely a incentive here that made some people not want to look too closely at what's been going on.
They didn't want to look.
Wow. And that would explain why now it's the U.S. attorney looking into it rather than the state law enforcement
They gave
or state
up on
fraud investigators. Is there any indication, Ryan, as you get, and obviously, it's one of those things you drop an investigative piece, and then all of a sudden you get 1,000 more tips.
Yeah, right.
That this goes higher, like actually into state government? You get the last 30 seconds.
It might.
I can't confirm that, so I don't want to get out in front of my skis here. What I can say is that this story has generated additional tips, and it is something that we are continuing to look into as we push forward with our efforts to expose the fraud rings that have been taking advantage of the generosity of Minnesota taxpayers.
All they have to do is find donations that went to politicians from people connected in some way with these fraud rings or these organizations.
Yes,
that
there
got
it
this
is.
money.
That's all that you have to do. It's not that hard, people.
And then either distributed it illegitimately or helped people file false claims.
Like I mentioned, Ilhan Omar. You guys notice she's the biggest mouth, the biggest crap-talking Trump this, fascist. She's been quiet. But last week, this is her. Oh, she emerged last week when they were talking about Epstein, and look what she called the Republican Party.
Tom Emmer has been a huge part of what I call the protection party. They've done every single thing possible to make sure that these files on Epstein were not going to be released.
So the only conspiracy she cares about,
like, if you think about
Epstein.
it, and I think, Pat, there's so much bad happening in freaking Minnesota, and I'm so happy that Trump is making these moves because enough is enough.
And I have no doubt that there are many people in Minnesota who came here from Somalia and love America and are citizens, as Representative Omar stated. However, we can't ignore the fact that there are...
But the problem becomes, like, look, that's the whole point, right? If you just... You're breaking the system. The system is ready to burst at the seams when you overwhelm the system with that many migrants. You don't know how many of them are those people who do want to assimilate, who do want to become genuine. Like, obviously, in history, it is radically true that a vast majority, like my descendants, or my ancestors, sorry, who came here, both Welsh, English, German, I can even give you the names because it's not my name now. Plaguers and Cars and Parkers. It's like all of these people go back to 1800s when they first arrived. And my current surname, my father's name, they go back all the way to the first settlers before we were even a nation. So before, my father's direct paternal lineage traces back to like before the Revolutionary War. But nevertheless, even they were pilgrims, immigrants at one point. So obviously, immigration can be and is something we should always have, always welcome others that want to be. If they want to be an American like me, I support you. If you want to be an American like Shoe on Head, who's economically democratic but against all the, we're talking about core values of what it means to be America. I think the woke brigade is anti-free speech, and they want to mutilate children, and I'm not for that. And so I don't want anybody coming here who has those beliefs. Other than, I'm pretty open, by and large, to immigration, but you can't do it so massively that you don't know who the hell anybody is, and then on top of that, expect there not to be a massive rise in crime, which there was, and then so Lady Zarkia says maybe a bit, but we actually have the biggest oil refinery. Oh, you're talking about Alberta? Yeah, true. It's It's crazy.
Criminals here as well that have done things where there is a mountain of evidence.
Why didn't you guys deal with this at a local level or a state level?
Yeah, that's a good question from Minnesota. Why aren't they dealing with this?
Tim Walz has turned Minnesota into America's fraud capital. And we've seen upwards of $1 billion go to criminal networks. And we're concerned right now that those dollars are going to Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization operating in Somalia. And so that's why
this governor could have been vice president
to investigate this, to track this money.
Please track it down.
Where does
Find
it
out
go
where it went.
from here? And how long are we talking about? Because the one program, the Minnesota Medicaid Housing Stabilization Program,
Look at this.
It was kind of the root of this fraud, and we're looking at the money, how it just, the spending just mushroomed from an initial cost of about $2.5 million to just the first 6 months of this year.
They overwhelmed the system with illegals. Yeah, true.
$61 million. So that's about
this would have been $120 million for the year.
There, that was the root of it all, and it was just runaway spending. So it didn't take that long for this fraud to germinate and metastasize.
We have seen this network of criminals go from human services program to human services program to the point where the United States Attorney believes that most of the dollars in that housing support program went to criminals. And that's why Governor Walz had to admit that he couldn't protect taxpayer dollars for that program and just shut it down.
And this guy was going to be vice president, which is somebody who has to be ready to become president, and he can't even run his own state. That's ridiculous. What a nightmare scenario the country avoided by voting against that.
We've been holding accountable those that are perpetrators of the crime. But we are not holding accountable those that created the opportunity to have those perps do what they did.
That's the government.
And that would be the policymaker, the attorney general, and the administration.
Yeah, right. The governor. If people stole money that was intended for law-abiding residents in need, there should be some sort of consequence. There should also be some sort of consequence at the state level. If there are legislators or governors even who benefited from this and could have been running America.
Obviously, that's true. Yes, there absolutely should be. So we got two ones. I want you guys to give me which one you want. Apparently, Twitter has made a massive change, a good change. We got Charlie here who's made a video and a react by Asmongold. Let's do the Asmongold one. It's a little long, but let's get to it. We'll do it at 15. Alright, what change did they make?
Pathetic power tripping Reddit mod? No way! What?
There are few things in life as pathetic as being a proud Reddit moderator. No. It's a position that attracts the most insufferable hoity-toity dweebs like moths to a flame, and it bestows upon them the tiniest sliver of power, just barely above like a middle school hall monitor, and somehow that immediately goes to their heads and corrupts their already ugly soul, leading to the most embarrassing meltdowns and just outrageous power
He was going off on a tangent, he had to cut it off. You see
what did Elon change? Yeah, I don't know yet.
And this is a stereotype that's existed for a while.
He is so funny.
Like it's moderators in every... Like, the problem is that these internet power positions attract people that want to tell everybody else what to do. And big surprise, everybody else doesn't want to be told what to do by a lot of the people that are in these power positions. We've had to deal with moderators like this in the past. We've unmodded them. And it's been hard to make sure that we have a team of people that don't do that.
Just the truth of being a Reddit mod. Like, this is just the sad reality of the people that take up that mantle.
Yep.
They think of themselves as fucking Batman, but what they actually are is the goddamn box ghost from Danny Phantom. Anyway, though, I'm blasting that ass with some new hotness here. A brand new mod meltdown, courtesy of r/.
Blasting that ass with some new, like, bro.
Art. It is a pretty fascinating one, and also not its first rodeo. The r/art subreddit's got some.
How does the art subreddit have problems? What the fuck is this? Some people are ruined by the smallest amount of power. I've seen people crash out over a guild rank in a video game.
Hold up.
Mods. So I'm gonna go over the most.
This is about Reddit. I want to see what he said about what X changed.
I just heard something incredible. Typically, I'm pretty quick to spit on Twitter. If there was a leaderboard for Twitter haters, I imagine I'd be towards the top percentile there. I get up extra early to insult that platform. But I've got to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
They just implemented an amazing system that allows users to see where accounts were created, like where they're based out of. And I genuinely think this is one of the best changes that platform has seen, especially in the current day and age. I'm sure by now all of you are familiar with...
Yo! Finally! I mean, I wonder if it can get past VPN. I don't know. I don't think so.
That internet theory, I probably don't need to rehash that. I've even made a whole video going over it. This kind of change to that platform, I think, paints the clearest picture for the reality that we live in for the current cyberspace climate. Tons and tons of accounts that are preaching things about like American politics or this and that have now been outed as being foreign-based, not actually American. And of course, that's only one of many things that have...
I mean, we all fucking knew. We all knew. We just couldn't prove it. But this is huge. This is fucking massive. Excuse my French earlier. I'm really trying to cut back on that. There's an audience I know that my mom is wanting to show my stream to, but won't do it if I'm cussing. And she's old-fashioned like that. Listen. I'm gonna try to keep it PG-13-ish. And yeah, it's one of those things. Older folks don't like a lot of F-bombs apparently. But this is massive. We can now prove that they're all foreign bots. China, and India probably, largely. Let's see.
Spawned as a result of this change, all of which I think are extremely positive to real people that try and engage on the World Wide Web. Every single day, and I've gone over the stats before, but every single day, people are led to believe that they're interacting with one another when they go to a social platform like Twitter. But the reality is, according to the data, 60% of all internet activity is bots. It's not real. It's fraudulent. You are not interacting with a human, most likely. You are more likely to be interacting with just some kind of fucking rage bait algorithm or something that's constantly like poking you, pushing your buttons to keep you engaged because it's making them money somewhere in the pipeline. Now, to clear up some confusion, it's not doxing its users. I've seen a lot of people crying foul, trying to force feed farts down people's throats about like how this is a huge violation of trust. And I think you guys know me by now. I'm someone who preaches the value of privacy, which is unfortunately just completely dead in the modern day and age. No matter what you do, privacy has completely vanished at this point, and people have welcomed it with a smile on their face. So even though privacy has become basically just toilet paper for organizations to wipe their ass with, I do still think that there needs to be something users can do to stay, off the grid to some certain extent. But when it comes to this, I actually think Twitter did a pretty good job of ensuring that it's not actually putting their users at risk from this location data. Something that they made a mention of is that in countries where freedom of speech is limited and there could be like punishment for what users are saying in the region, they can instead just show like the broader region there as opposed to like specifically where they're at, where they could face retribution. I think that is a smart decision there, so that way users aren't just immediately on the fucking chopping block in places where freedom of speech is poo-pooed. So, like, I don't really think it's doxing users, and I actually think this is a very valuable thing because all these accounts now that are really upset about it are ones that are actively trying to meddle and pretend to be what they are not online to influence or brainwash or what have you, or make money off of this impersonation. And I think this is a good step in a direction where people can finally see what's real and what's fake. I think that is very helpful. As things get muddier and muddier, a little bit of clarity on some of these accounts, especially in the political space, that's been the biggest talking point here, because so many politically charged accounts, especially in American politics, turns out they're not actually even American accounts. Turns out they're not even like Americans in general. They're based overseas across the pond. So being able to see that, I think, is extremely helpful, so people can start to maybe break out of their bubbles and their echo chambers and realize, oh, I'm being misled here. These accounts I've been following that are pretending to be like me and relate to me in my country, well, they're not actually real. This is all phony baloney.
Yep.
Now, what's not phony baloney is good hygiene, and it's something you need to take very seriously.
Okay, pass the ad.
Soap. Now, I learned about this whole Twitter change from Dolan Darkest, whom he's been like my go-to recently. He has got his finger on the pulse of fucking everything happening online, and he presented a lot of really interesting ones, so I want to show you a couple of clips from his video here.
Pro-Trump, pro-American accounts were based out of Nigeria. One account, simply called American, from Pakistan. Accounts designed to get money for Gaza were based out of Nigeria. Vladimir Putin News was from Pakistan, and there were plenty of scammers pretending to be white women.
I feel like it shouldn't be that surprising to people that a lot of these accounts are actually just fucking bot farms somewhere overseas. It seems like a lot of them were based in Pakistan. Like, it really isn't like the most eye-opening news ever that these accounts are fake. There is a business here where they are fanning flames, keeping people fearful, latched onto their titty, suckling their milk because it's making them money. So they meddle in foreign affairs in order to build a following and make money off of it, and constantly feeding you things that'll keep you afraid and keep you coming back to their pages. But it's not real. They are based outside of the area for which they so passionately fight for and pretend to be from. It is impersonating. It is lying to you.
One account known as Lisa Artist posting "Nobody wished me on my birthday" and posting this AI slot saying "I am ill and fighting with cancer. Can I get likes?" There were plenty more bot accounts just like this, and they were all based in Pakistan.
To be fair, if you were seeing all of those AI trash pictures there and were still like believing that they were the legitimate owner of the account, you need actual help. Like, you need to be fucking institutionalized. Like, even before this changed, it should be blatantly obvious to you that that is a scam. Those are fake. Like, that, like, I don't know how much more clear it could be. But here's even more clarity there, so just in case you were fucking delusional, like, you know, Bugs Bunny dropped a piano or like an anvil on your head like it was a cartoon and it made you fucking stupid that you actually thought those were really the women behind those accounts. Well, hopefully this will clear up the confusion around that.
Mariah Carey's account was based in Israel for some reason. Philippa
Mariah Carey was based in
Franson from Sweden tweeting out, "I'm proud to be white." Turns out they are from India. And the list goes on. One anti-Trump Democrat account that claimed to be living in New Jersey was actually from Kenya and deactivated their account after this was exposed.
Worth mentioning briefly that there was allegations that when the update first rolled out, the official Department of Homeland Security's Twitter account said that it was based in Israel, though they said that this was fake news, like it was the result of a glitch or something like that, and now it displays that it's based in the United States. So don't know for sure, and none of the articles have been able to verify if that truly was what was displayed in the beginning. I guess we'll never fully know, but thought it was worth putting in here anyway because it was something that was a big story that arose from this change. It's been pure chaos, pandemonium, as users have the rude awakening that a ton of these accounts they see every day, or maybe even interact with, or maybe really support, well, they're not all that you thought they were. Turns out there's a lot of underhanded tactics and a lot of shadiness going on here, if you can believe that. I actually think that the head of product at Twitter really did kind of sum it up best for why they felt the need to push a change like this forward. This is an important first step to securing the integrity of the global town square. As much as I find that vomit-inducing that they try and call Twitter like the global town square, like it's kind of cringe, that's a really good point. In order, like if you are going to treat it like the town square where everyone congregates and talks and yaps and exchanges a lot of things, keeps everyone abreast on what's going on, well, there needs to be some level of trust, and that's just completely gone as the town square has been infiltrated by bad actors impersonating and pretending and scamming and misleading. So by having the location data be something accessible to the users, it is an effective first step at being able to deduce who actually is even a real person in this town square anymore, or who's just here to exploit and manipulate and scam and mislead.
I think one of the most insane multi-layered scams to come out of this. Last year, a few OnlyFans accounts went viral on Twitter because the models were pretending to be trans in order to get attention when they were actually cis women. Well, as it turns out, these OnlyFans models were actually Indian and African men pretending to be white women who were pretending to be transgender.
That one had to be the silliest one that you brought up there. That one is just kind of like a wacky plan. That is quite the scheme there. So, like I said, I actually do think this is a good change to the platform. I really do. So yeah, I just wanted to yap about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah.
Wow. That is genuinely incredible, and wow. That's huge. So what's this about the Reddit
I think
thing?
it was yesterday. And then I also want to give you a little, blast from the past from a previous instance where one of these mods went nuts. But this one I think is quite special. So what happened is there's an artist named Hayden Clay who posted his art on the subreddit. It got very popular, and in the comments he was replying to somebody asking for more information about his work, and he mentioned that, you can find my work.
Hey, Lady Zarkia, can you do me a huge favor? Do you have a Twitch account? Okay. Okay, if you have one, I'm going to, let's go here. And go here. Okay. Oops. Okay. And then, okay, go there for me, real quick, just real fast, and all I need you to do is type anything in chat so I can make you a mod on there, just in case, because for some reason I cannot change from just chatting to another category, and I can't change my title, and I can't delete chats. Thank you. Hi, Lady Zarkia. So let's make you a mod. Let's see. Community. Roles. Add a role. Let's go back. Okay, so let's just go here, there, and then roles, add a role, there you are, moderator, editor, save. Okay, you should be now a moderator. And you should see a chat above yours in the Twitch chat. Can you delete that? Hydro, electricity, whatever the heck. I'll show it to you on the channel. It's this one. See, I can't delete it. I can reply to it, but there doesn't seem to be an option to delete it. That's not normal, right? I mean, I can't even delete your chats. I can't delete anything. It's so weird. Trying to get set up on Twitch properly, it's been a pain in the ass. Nothing yet? Yeah, but I mean, I'm the owner of the channel and I can't even delete it. See, like, watch this, watch my stream again. If you watch my live stream, in my live stream, I've pulled up your 3 chats in my Twitch chat. You can see where you've become a mod. Anyway, I can look at the chat I want to delete. I can click on his name, and I can ban or block all that jazz. But I don't want to ban or block. Let's see, timeout. 10 minutes. See, I guess timing out blocks deletes the chat. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Maybe that's how you have to do it. That's crazy. Let me know what you find out. I appreciate you.
Here, and you know, there's also some prints available too.
You don't have to, by the way. I just really appreciate it.
Let me guess. They have a rule against self-promotion. And because of the rule against self-promotion and the fact that he mentioned that he has prints, they banned him for that. That's what my guess is.
Very quick reply to a nice comment. And one of the rules of the subreddit is you can't be like self-promoting your work, so you can't be like...
You can think like a Reddit mod if you really try. You can.
Like advertising prints or anything. So because he used the word prints, it got the whole post removed. Just blasted to the shadow.
No, this came out while I was live. Don't y'all say that.
So Hayden Clay was pretty upset, so he messaged the mod about it, trying to get further clarity, and maybe he could try and find a way out of this pickle here because he felt it was unjust. There you can see the comment that got him banned. I have a whole mini-series called Clear Boundaries with Prints Available. Just a very offhanded remark about having prints available, and it was removed because...
I have a whole mini-series? Oh my god. So now you have to do homework in order to post on the art subreddit?
So he said, "Are you seriously banning me for giving more information on my work? No, I banned you for breaking our rules. Oh, but I can also remove all your old posts as well if you'd like."
Bro, just stop. It's just so weird. What's wrong with these people? What is wrong? A power trip? Yes. Oh my god.
Oh man, this guy's no nonsense, tough as nails. You don't tussle with the muscle. r/art mod. Oh, brother, watch out. He's coming down with the iron fist.
Yeah, he's going to let him know.
Silly. So, like I said, the rule is like no self-promoing or whatever. Can't be mentioning where they can purchase your art or anything like that, which he wasn't really doing. It's an offhanded reply to someone that was saying they'd like to have the art in their office or whatever. Like it's such a stretch.
They could have just deleted the comment too. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like every single... you don't have to permaban every single person out of the subreddit, especially if it's a popular post. Yeah, you could have just deleted it and said, hey, you know, you can't promote that here. And, like, okay, maybe that's too much. Maybe it's not. It's up to you, right? But, like, permabanning and then telling him you're going to delete everything else in the past, like, oh, my God. Just relax, man.
To even have that be, like, a violation of their rule in the first place, it is solely because the word print is there. What an unbelievably stinky loser.
That's crazy. Alright, I think I'm good on all the stuff that I wanted to cover. Reacts. If you guys have anything you want me to react to, post it. I am going to change topics now. I think I just figured out how to change topics. And we're going to do that. So let's go here. Okay, done. And let's go here. of that. And let's go here. Wait, leave it there. And let's go here. Alright, gaming. And save. Alright. Okay guys, this is my very first time loading up to Mass Effect, and this is going to be my first playthrough. And so we're going to find the hell out. What we all about. ME1, yes, we are starting with Mass Effect 1, and we're going to go through the story. I'm going to do an analysis. It's a game I never really quite, I wanted to get into it, and just never did. So, wow, that was weird. Let's try it from here. No internet. Okay, let's try this. Okay, something is up. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what that's all about. I was able to play it just fine last night. What the hell? we go, guys. Come on now. Come on. I guess. I might not be able to do anything because I wasn't a mod when it was commented. Maybe I can see an option to delete the message. Oh, you can see that now? Yeah, see, I still can't see it. Oh, you can't even see the option. Yeah, I can't either. It deleted when I timed it out, but other than that, yeah, I guess I'll have to restart everything. Let's try this again. Let's go here. There. Okay. Now let's try it fresh. That's weird. Ah, okay. So let's try this. Okay. I don't know what's different. What the hell? Okay, something's up. This is really driving me nuts here. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry about that, guys. I don't understand. There we go. I guess. What the? Okay. Something's really driving me nuts now. Well, there you guys have it. I'm gonna have to cut it, call it there. Damn, that's really frustrating. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Lady Zarka, for helping, but I can't spend the whole stream trying to fix this issue. I will be live any minute now if I can just get it back going again. So, you know, stay tuned for that, I guess, if you get any notifications while you're browsing Kick. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Love you all. Thank you. Mwah. Much love. And, yeah, I'm going to try to fix this. So thanks for watching, guys. All the love. Thank you, Elrich.